What is up, homies? Ross Christofoli here, and do me a favor because I'm going to be sharing some awesome videos here with you. Smash the subscribe button because you're going to want to take this journey, and actually I invite you to follow me in my journey to growing my Instagram account. Now, a lot of gurus are afraid to show you them doing something because they might fail. However, I like showing you everything I'm doing. So let's be fully transparent here, and let's take a look at my Instagram account and see where we're currently at. So right now I have 7,238 followers. Let me tell you how I got these followers and why I hate it. So I didn't pay for fake likes or followers or anything like that, but there's a guy online who is extremely well known for growing Instagram accounts. He says he's worked on accounts like Russell Brunson's partner, whatever his name is. I can't remember their names. Todd, something like that. Anyways, everybody follows him for his Instagram stuff. So I hired him. I think he was like $3,500, $4,000 for a month. And so I hired him to grow my Instagram account for me because if you guys know me, I focus on the who, not the how. I like to be hands off. And as you're going to see, it's no different with this process here, the way I'm doing it. But he got me up. He was supposed to get me to 10,000 followers so I could use the swipe up feature. And he fell short of that, maybe 8,000. I said, don't worry about it. You guys just end it. Like, it is what it is. It was partially my fault too, because they need me to keep creating more and more content. And I was like, I don't have time for this. Let's just call it a day. I wasn't real pleased with the service, and I'll tell you why. It's because, for me, the reason I wasn't pleased with the service is because before they ever made a single post, I started getting a lot of followers. And I think they were plugging me into other networks, which is fine in some ways. But they were not relevant followers, I found out, because I ended up losing a bunch of them. When I started actually posting content, I'd start losing a bunch of them. So now I'm down to like 7,238, as you can see here. It's funny. So when I first started this journey like a week ago, it first dropped. So it went down to like 7,200. And then in the last day and a half, now it's starting to go back up the right way. So I'm going to show you guys the strategies that I'm using to grow my Instagram account, though. Obviously, the most common one is post at least 1 to 2 times a day. And when you do that, use the hashtags of the people that you're actually following or that you want to be following you. So you can see where I've done that. I'm using this tool Sprinkles here. I can put a link down below. It's a really safe platform. That's why I'm using it. I don't have to worry about my Instagram account going down. Because of the proxies that they use and also just like the limits that are set on it. It works really, really well the way these developers have put this thing together. Now, in full transparency, I have stake in this company, so I don't want to make it seem like I'm just promoting or I'm just throwing this up here softly and blah blah. Like, I needed a tool that did this, and I thought, what better way to do it than to get into a company that does this. But anyways, I'll show you how this works. So I have these published, and I pre-post them. I don't make the content, so my assistant makes about a week or two worth of content, uploads it into Google Drive, and this will sync with your Google Drive account. And then we just essentially go here, and it's really, really easy. Like, I can drag this here. I have my templates all made for my hashtags. I could say, let's see, choose a core service that a business needs to, and then I could put, do you agree? Just giving you an example of how easy this thing is to, how easy it is for these to be set up. And then I schedule that post. Now that post is scheduled. But now let me show you the real magic behind what I'm going to try to do, or the real strategy. So I know everyone hates the whole follow and follow thing. I know you hate that. But I'll tell you why I'm going to do this. I thought about this for a while, why I believe it's ethical, and why you have to unfollow people. So you can only have, and this is Instagram's limits, you can only follow 7,500 people. I've been doing tons of reading. I am not the Instagram guru. I am not the smartest guy in the world, but I'm pretty good at getting into a platform, figuring it out, and coming up with strategy. So you can only follow about 7,500 people. Now, with that said, the stats that I have found that are reoccurring is that 20 to 30% of people you follow will follow you back. And then we'll keep this going. 5 to 8% of people that you unfollow will unfollow you. Okay, so now we have some math to go off of here, because now I know roughly that if I want to get 10,000, I need up to 10,000 people. I should shoot a little high and say, okay, I need to get about another 3,000 followers, which means that I'm going to need to follow, if it will just be conservative and say 20% follow you back, that means I'm going to need to follow about 15,000 people. And if I'm only, you also don't want to really do more than 200 of these actions a day on Instagram. Otherwise, you could get flagged. Thankfully, this platform won't let you do more than that. It's set at those limits. But that means that at 200-ish actions a day, it's going to take you 75 days to reach 15,000 people. And so that means you're going to have about roughly 2.5 months, we'll say, of doing this strategy. And this is just one strategy to get followers. So we'll just say if we were to do this strategy and we followed 15,000 people over the next 75 days, but we unfollow people after a few days, we'll stay under the 7,500 mark. We would get our 3,000 followers within that time. Now, that's just one strategy to grow the Instagram account. So let's say this here is the main Instagram account that I'm going to grow. The secondary strategy that I'm going to be setting up, and you guys, I'll make sure I track it so you guys can keep up with this, is I'm going to come up with sub accounts. So I'll probably start off with 3 just so that it's easier to manage. And these sub accounts, all of their URLs are going to lead to my main one. So all of these URLs will lead to this one, and also the hashtags themselves are going to have the Ross_Christofoli leading you to that. And then also when people follow this, we'll send them an automatic welcome message that lead them to my Instagram account, or to my main Instagram account. I don't have data and numbers yet, though, to be able to show how many followers this is going to be able to get me. So this will be a fun experiment that I encourage you to do as well. So if you want to follow along, you could use the same platforms. You could do whatever you want. If you're already using a platform, comment below and just say, hey, I'm accepting the challenge. I'm going to do it with you and follow along with these videos. Just make sure that you subscribe below so that way that you can do it as well. Another strategy that I'm using is I'm auto commenting. When you which means basically I'm setting up hashtags. So like, let's say I do like hashtag Grant Cardone. If anybody does a post and they put hashtag Grant Cardone, it'll say like very cool or awesome, something like that on the platform. Now, be warned that can be a little dangerous because people can report your account if it just seems way out of left field. I'm doing it because I'm taking the risk on this, but do it at your own will. And then also I'm doing the auto welcome messages. And then I'm also doing what's called, and a lot of people know about the auto welcome messages, but I'm also doing one that's a direct message sent to people via a hash file. So an example of this would be, I set up yesterday, I set up one that was like, if anybody who had hashtag the Shark Damon in their post, they'd get a message saying, hey, would you be interested in coming to an event where Daymond John's the keynote speaker? We had several conversations going on that way. I sold 2 tickets and I got one person interested just by following that method alone. So it was a really, really cool way to be able to engage with people and then get followers that way. Another one is called mass story viewing. So that way people will follow people who are engaging with their stuff. The problem with most platforms, and this is why I've always hated organic marketing, is that the only way to get followers is if you actually play the game. So that's why I'm taking part in these automations, so that way people start following you and doing that sort of stuff. So now let me dig into a little bit behind how my settings are set up. So there's this feature here called Boost. And under Boost, you essentially set up what automations you want. And then you literally walk through them. You set up the hashtags you want to follow. You set up all of the crap, the comments, everything that we just talked about. And you're then set. You're ready to go. So to give you an example of this, if I click here and I go under activity source, if you see an error, it's because there just wasn't something there when it went to look for it. But as you can see, it followed this person. It's following people based off of these things. And I have it set to where it's like sporadic, random times. It's not always going to be the same thing. Well, I started this account just a couple days ago, or not this account, but this software doing just this. And I actually fully launched it 2 days ago. And as I told you, when I first started, I was just doing the auto posting. I wasn't even doing the auto following. We actually lost a bunch of people in the beginning because there were a lot of irrelevant people. But now it's starting to climb back up from this follow method or whatever. And I'll show you how this has gone. Now we've got 31 new followers just in the last day and a half. Let's see, it says here 8:10 to 8:12. So 2 days. We've gotten 31 followers, but this is all organically. Now, this will all start to compound, especially as I keep ramping things up and ramping things up. So I'm really, really excited to do this. Now, the first thing that people have asked me is, Ross, why do you want to be on Instagram? Well, Instagram is right now one of the easiest ways to grow organically, and you can send that traffic other places. Like, I'm noticing a lot of people who follow me, I can see them go subscribe to my YouTube channel because that's what's in my bio. I see people then go from there. I can see them end up in my funnels because I like to trace people and kind of see where things are going. So that's why I'm doing all this. But the beautiful thing is it's fairly hands-off once you get things set up. You have a VA, create a bunch of content. You go, lay out your calendar, and you just let this thing rock and roll. You let it go. So follow me along, guys. Why don't you join me and see if you can get yourself to, an extra 10,000 followers or wherever you're at, and let's grow these things together. I appreciate you guys following me. I'll put a link to this in the bio so you can be a part of it as well. And you guys have an amazing day.